Last week, we promised a war, and we delivered. The FDA, RFK, renegade scientists, a secret list, the whole circus. But here's a second question, and it's the one you would ask about anything before you put it in your body. What does it actually do? So we're back for Peptides Part 2. And remember, peptides are a category. It's not a thing. It's a menu. And last week, we covered whether the restaurant should even be allowed to stay open. This week, we sit down and actually read the food, item by item. Surgeon is walking me down the list one at a time. And for each one, I want the same three things. What does it claim to do? Who's selling that dream? And how much of it is actually real? Fair warning, same as last time. Nothing here is a prescription. Nothing here is a shopping list. The answer to should I try this still lives in your doctor's office, not in that DM from that one guy named Chad. I'm Pete Wright, he's Surgeon Ignatz, and this is Build for Health. Okay, we're back, we're here, and you are fired up.
Yes, because this is the two peptides that I'm actually considering about taking it. So I'm going to have to consult with my doctor next week, and we'll see where we go from there. But one way or the other, I'm going to try these two and see where it goes, because there have been a lot of good results, and I've heard people talk about it, and I definitely want to try it, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But
okay.
Yeah, like I always do, I do extensive research and find out what it does. So I'm going to kind of explain it to you guys.
Excellent. So we're going to start with these big two today then, right? We're not going to do the whole list, the big two, and we'll see what we have time for. Maybe there is a future conversation, but for today, these are the ones you are most interested in. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I kind of want to explain people what these two do, and when it comes to recovery, because injuries are very common. So these two are responsible for the recovery. And one is called BPC-157, and the other one is TB-500. So this is like a stack, these two that work together, right? They're very well known. So when they prescribe, they usually prescribe these two together. So I'm kind of going to explain through each one of them and let you know how actually they work together, how well and why. So the first one is the BPC-157. So one of the ways that this peptide helps is by improving the blood flow to the injured tissue, right? So when you injure a tendon, ligament, or a muscle, any area that needs oxygen, nutrients, amino acids, and immune cells in order to begin repair itself, right? So those supplies all travel through your bloodstream. What BPC-157 helps is those areas from forming a tiny new blood vessels. And so think of it like building a new site roads to a construction site. So the better the roads, the easier it is to deliver the workers and building materials where they need to go. So it also helps with regulating the inflammation. Now, inflammation is not the enemy. It's actually the first step in healing. And the problem is when the inflammation kind of sticks around too long or becomes excessive. So one thing that you need to understand about inflammation, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know about this, but when you get injured, the inflammation is like an emergency response. It brings immune cells to the injured area to remove the damaged tissues, kills bacteria, and if there is an infection, right? So it signals the body that repairs needs to begin. So without the inflammation, the healing wouldn't even get started. So think of it like a firefighter is responding to a house fire, right? So the problem is if those fighters never leave, right? Imagine the fire is out, but they keep spraying the water on the house for like weeks. So
those are chronic firefighters.
Exactly. Yeah. So eventually they start causing more damage.
They're the worst.
And that's what chronic inflammation can do, right? Instead of allowing the body to move into the rebuilding phase, it keeps the tissue stuck in that cleanup mode.
Yeah.
So when the inflammation lasts too long, the body continues to release inflammation chemicals that can break down healthy tissues and slow down the collagen production, and then kind of interfere with the cells responsible for rebuilding. So the blood vessels may also stay more swollen and leaky, than they need to be, which can also contribute to ongoing pain and swelling. So healing happens in stages, right? First comes the inflammation, then tissue repair, and finally like remodeling, where the new tissue becomes stronger and more organized. So that's kind of what the inflammation does. And I don't know if many people knew that.
Well, I'm glad it's like a fever, right? You get a fever. The fever is itself trying to do something for an infection or for sickness, right? It's the same thing.
Exactly.
But it does seem like every time we think of inflammation right now, we think of it in terms of that chronic state. Like you live with inflammation, you probably eat too much gluten, whatever. But in this case, it seems like we're talking about inflammation that could be useful.
Yes. At the beginning, you just don't want it to stay there for too long.
Yeah.
Right. That's when the problem becomes. But if it's there for a little bit, like let the body do its own thing. Right. So what BPC-157 helps also keep the inflammation, that inflammatory response more balanced. So allowing your body to move from that cleanup phase into the rebuilding phase more efficiently. Mm-hmm. So, another reason people are interested in that BPC is because it supports the cells responsible for producing collagen. And collagen is the main structural protein that gives tendons, ligaments, and skin, and many other tissues their strength. So I also say, like, you can think of collagen like the steel cables in like a suspension bridge. And if those cables are damaged, the bridge becomes weak, right? Mm-hmm. So during healing, your body has to manufacture the new collagen to rebuild that structure, right?
Yeah.
So the key kind of to understanding that what that peptide isn't like taking a painkiller. It simply masks the symptoms. The idea is that it may help your body repair damaged tissue more efficiently. So it's not creating healing out of the thin air. It may simply improve the conditions your body needs to do what it already knows, how to do.
I'm trying to figure out that metaphor. Is it like adding a turbocharger? Is it like just what? Because I mean, one of the things you keep saying is it may do this, and I know there is evidence out here to support what it does.
Yeah. It's pretty much what it does. That's what the idea of this peptide is, what it's supposed to do. So it creates the healthy environment.
Now because you haven't started, there's a lot of I'm asking specifically about you. Do you think there's anything about you that makes you more or less susceptible to the benefits of using this peptide?
I think this will be very beneficial, not just for my forearm. Right now, I mean, my bone is healed. There's a lot of soft tissue damage, like I have a really haven't strengthened it. My wrist is getting better and all that stuff, but there's a lot of those micro tears in the soft tissue that this could help. But then also I injured my shoulder, and the shoulder is not getting really any better. Like I've been doing all the physical therapy and all that stuff. So in the same accident it happened. It's just I wanted to take care of my arm first before the shoulder, but been doing a lot of therapy for the shoulder and all that stuff, and it's not really helping. It's not inflamed. There's no inflammation there, but I could definitely benefit from this, and that's the reason why I'm actually taking this. Like if the physical therapy there, it's its own thing, I wouldn't consider using it, but I want to see how much this is going to speed up the recovery. Okay,
and the number on that one again was the 157, right?
So 157, the BPC-157.
Okay.
Now, the other one that comes with that one, it's TB-500. So that's another peptide that's become popular in the world of injury, recovery, especially among athletes. So if BPC-157 is like, a project manager directing the repair team, think of this TB-500 as the transportation manager. Like its job is to help the right workers get to the construction site faster and move around more efficiently once they arrive, right? So that's why they work together. Well, so it's based on a naturally occurring protein in your body, and this protein is found in many tissues and becomes more active when you're injured. So it plays an important role in the wound healing by helping cells migrate to damaged tissue. So that's important because when you tear a muscle, striate tendon or injury or ligament, your body has to send the repair cells to that exact location before healing can begin. So TB-500 helps make that whole process more efficient. It improves the movement of the repair cells into injured tissue, allowing the body to begin that rebuilding, and it starts rebuilding sooner. So it helps the body transition from cleaning up the damage to actually repairing it.
Okay.
So that's kind of why, they appear to work, in different pathways, those two. By combining them, the idea is that BPC-157 help creates the better healing environment by supporting the blood flow and collagen repair, while TB-500 helps the body's repair cells gets where they need to go and improve overall tissue remodeling.
Okay, you've been doing a lot of reading about this, right?
Yes.
You're a little bit obsessive about
and
it,
it's like,
if I do say so. Yeah. So
yes, I am.
Here, what do you expect in terms of results? And because I know I can imagine somebody listening, like me. I'm listening to you talk right now, and I'm wondering what you expect in terms of the sort of timeline of results, which may not even be a fair question, but like, how do you know it's going to be having an effect? Do you know what you expect from, when you start taking it to the point you'll start feeling some relief?
Well, I'm going to start feeling relief a lot faster. And I've hurt my shoulder numerous
months
times. And
ago.
I know, months ago. And I've hurt my shoulder before, and I know how long it takes to repair and to get back to where I can do all my workouts and stuff like that without pain or any kind of discomfort and stuff like that. So I know shoulder and I know shoulder pain, and I'll be able to tell if my shoulder is actually repairing a lot faster, or it's going the same pace, or if I really feel any difference than before when I did my own recovery when I hurt my shoulder. So it's
funny. I asked that question, and it's almost like your shoulder is literally not improving right now. So any improvement after you start taking this stuff is probably an improvement that we can chalk up to.
Yes, because I keep testing every week. I keep trying to do different things, and I'm like, it still hurts exactly like it did the week before and the week before that, and it's not getting any better. Like the weight is the same. I mean, everything is exactly the same. It's not even like, all right, I can pull a little bit more, or it doesn't hurt that much, or just feel discomfort, but not a lot of pain. But no, pain is always there. It's always the same. And I've been doing all the physical therapy, and I've been massaging it, and I've been, putting ice and heat and all this other stuff that I would usually do, what I would do in this case, but it's not helping. It's not recovering.
Okay.
So,
how do you have any sense, for those who are curious, to what these things cost?
I don't know. I'm very curious to see how much they cost. I mean, I think depending on where you're getting them. If you're getting on some random website and you're meeting with some random doctor on that website and discussing with him, and I don't know how much they would charge you, but I'm sure it's different if you go through your normal regular doctor and he prescribed that through the compound pharmacy, how much they're going to charge you.
Yeah.
So they might charge you a little bit more because it's more pure. You know where it's coming from.
You get the good stuff.
You get the good stuff. You know it's going to work. You know what you're putting in your body. Then when you're getting from the, random company or website, even though you're meeting with the doctor, you don't know, how pure that is, if it's going to be that effective or not. You're going to be putting those in yourself. Amino acids, you're going to be fine, but how effective it's going to be, you don't know. So people have been getting from different websites, and I'm sure they're all different prices because they're trying to compete with each other.
It just seems sketchy. Again, I mean, just self sourcing just seems risky on this stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of research on that too. So
Yeah.
I might have a better idea maybe when we do another episode. Uh, let people know
Yeah.
what I
All right.
found.
So these two are the primary for rebuilding, which is obviously your interest. But can you give us a sketch of kind of what's left in that list that you're curious about, even though you're not looking to start them right away?
So I don't know if I might try these. I'm kind of curious now that I did more research and find all that stuff. I'm like, ooh, it's very tempting. I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to do this because there's all peptides, they're amino acids. So it's not really, I'm not putting steroids in my body.
Right.
Once you find out what they do, it's kind of tempting to try it, to say, because you still have to go to the gym, you still have to work out, you still have to put all the work, So it's not like, many people spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on these peptides while, still sleeping 5 hours a night and eating maybe 80 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
And, that's like hiring the best construction crew in the world, but never delivering any building materials to the job site, So sleep, nutrition, training, you still need to do all this stuff. It's not gonna work. It's not like a pill. You take it, steroid put in, and you just grow. It's so that's why while I'm still putting all this work, I want to try it. I want to see if it's going to help speed up, the muscle growth and stuff like that. There are a couple other. There's another stack that's very popular in the fitness industry, bodybuilding industry, and these two, one is called CJC-1295, and another one is ipamorelin. So it's those two, when you put them together, they work well, just like the two for the recovery. So one, what it does, it sends the message, hey, release the growth hormone, sends the message to your body. And the other one makes that pituitary gland that releases that growth hormone more responsive to that message. So that's how those two work together.
Okay.
And that's a very popular stack that's used for the increase of the natural growth hormone.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, they're paired because they stimulate the growth hormone through two different pathways.
So suddenly we're talking about stuff that makes me feel like we're messing with the primary forces of nature here, like that.
And I love it.
I mean, it's great. I can smell in myself just a little bit of curiosity, some interest.
Give me a month and we're going to do another episode. I'm going to tell you all the stuff that I've tried now and used it and all that stuff.
Welcome to the candy shop.
Yes, this is my candy shop. This is my favorite shop.
Oh my gosh.
But it just sends the signal to your body to, hey, produce a little bit more of what you're already producing,
Yeah.
It's just when you start aging, you're producing less of that stuff.
Yeah.
These peptides, they just send a message like, hey, produce a little bit more. And then the other one sends, another message like, hey, that message was there. Do it, So your body's producing the same stuff they produced when you were in your 20s and 30s, just a little less producing now. So that's all it does. Right. And that's why it's safer, than injecting a steroid in yourself just to get the muscle growth. Like I would never do that. So the first one, the CJC-1295, it signals your brain to release more of your body's own natural growth hormone, right? Helping increase the growth hormone pulses that your body already produces, right? Mm-hmm. So if that one sends the message that it's time to release the growth hormone, the other one makes sure that the message gets through. So it helps your pituitary gland respond by releasing another pulse of the growth hormone. So compared to some older and other peptides, this one's more targeted. So it's less likely to interfere with other hormones. It does this without affecting hormones like cortisol or prolactin, which is one reason why it's so popular. So the increased growth hormone pulses, then that stimulates the liver and other tissues to produce the insulin-like growth factor 1, and that's what's known as IGF-1, which is responsible for many of the benefits that people associate with growth hormone, including increased muscle protein synthesis, improved recovery between workouts, better collagen production for tendons and ligaments, enhanced tissue repair, increased fat utilization for energy, better sleep quality in some individuals, all that stuff. Now, here's a little bit of a twist. There's a peptides that's called IGF-1, but there's 2 more letters that says LR3. And they're like, oh my God, I know it's so complicated with all these letters on top of everything.
I can't believe I'm actually wishing a big pharmaceutical company would just start manufacturing it with a name. That's who knew I would wish for that. It's ridiculous. All right, go ahead.
So the IGF-1 that we says it's, produced by the liver and all that stuff, the hormone, the IGF-1 is the hormone your body naturally produces in response to the growth hormone. But the other one, peptide, that has LR3, is a different version because it stays active in your body longer than that natural IGF-1.
Oh,
so there's IGF-1 and there's IGF-1 LR3. It's just a different version that stays active longer. So the IGF-1, it stays in your system, just natural, it stays in the system for like half a day, anywhere from like 12 to 15 hours. The IGF-3, another peptide that the people put in, stays anywhere from 20 to 30 hours. So what that means, what the difference is, why is this important? The difference, it means the signal to muscle tissue can last longer. Right? Okay. So think of it as, IGF like turning on the sprinklers for like 15 minutes and it waters the lawn, it shuts off after 15 minutes. Now, IGF-1, LR3 is like leaving the sprinkler for much longer. So giving the lawn more time to absorb the water, right? So the idea is that muscle cells are exposed to the growth signal longer. Right? Although that doesn't guarantee more muscle growth, you still have to do your work.
You got to do the work, right?
Progressive thing and all that stuff. Yes.
And what is it doing if you're not working out? Right? Is that when it starts growing like the third arm out of your chest, or is it?
No, it's just not going to do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything. You still have to do the work, just like with all the other peptides. It creates the environment, but you got to do the work.
Okay.
In this one, that's why the bodybuilders use, because they already put so much work and they stay in the gym for like an hour and they'll, going hard and intense. So this does help if you do that. If you don't, it's really not going to do much and you're not going to see any much difference, right? So those are 2 that are like really popular right now in the bodybuilding and people using. So I might go for that one too. Try it.
Why don't you get healthy first? Because this image of you lifting something heavy and having your arms fall off at the right at the bar is scary. So just let's get healthy first.
All right, we'll try first with the recovery one, and then once we're good to go, then we might try this couple other ones. Just so I can tell listeners if it's worth it or not.
This is a service that you're providing. Right?
Exactly.
Please if nothing else, please let Surgeon's Life serve as a warning to others. That's all we ask. I can't wait to see how this goes, man. I'm very excited to see your shoulder get better and
I'm excited about
back
that
to normal.
too. And,
All right, so next week, big week. Hopefully we'll have something new to talk about next week. We also have some listener questions starting to come back now that we're back after our vacation. People are actually listening to that first episode. We've got a couple of vacation-related questions. We're going to start getting to those next week. But for now,
if they have any questions about peptides and how they work, I try to explain this in the best possible way for you guys to understand how that works without getting into like a lot of details and medical terms and all that stuff. Just finding a way that actually makes sense for you guys. But yeah, ask questions about any other peptides that you might find, because there's other ones that I didn't mention that, people use for a lot of other reasons, that also have to do with the fitness and, metabolism and the weight loss and all that stuff. So yeah, if you have any of those questions, please let me know.
Send them in. The link is in the show notes to send us a question. We'd love to have you do that for a future episode upcoming. Stay tuned. The lab is open starting next week, and Surgeon is donating his body to science. Cannot wait.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening to this show. We appreciate your time and your attention. Don't forget, send in those questions, and please share the show with someone else that you think might be interested in these kinds of topics. This is how we grow stronger together. Thanks for listening to Build for Health. We'll catch you next week in the gym.